Hi, this is Tina. Uh, love my mess. Anyways, I wanted to show you today a quick masculine card. I'm in the process of making several. Um, First of all, as I said the other day, I make several cards, and I went on a binge Sunday and cut out several dark colors, black and gray and brown, and then I embossed them. Ran them through with the Cuttlebug. Yes, sorry about pushing that. Oh, yeah, it would help if I start the correct place. First, I cut out the gray part with the Matting Basics, the largest Matting Basics B from Spellbinders. And then I cut out the white part from the Matting Basics A, the largest one. And in case you're wondering, this is how I store my dies. I get one of those go to Lowe's and get one of those vent covers, the magnetic vent cover packages, and it has 2 or 3 magnets in it, and I just cut them down and put my dies in it and put it in a CD case, and then I have them all together. And this is just one of the 3 I have, and I can get that out of the way. There's a glue sheet here. All right, then I took the smaller piece, ran it through the die cutting machine, and um, with the embossing folder, and this just happens to be the Cuttlebug Happy Birthday. Yes, and I just saw that this is like the farthest away it can be. There you go, guys. Cuttlebug Happy Birthday by Provocraft, and I ran it through, and then I sanded it. Now, I don't, I might have, but I doubt it, have a sanding block that I bought for crafting. This is probably something I got at the dollar store, California Nails. Real easy to use. Once you run your piece of cardstock, and this obviously is white core, through the die cutting machine to emboss it, and I ran them all to get all through, and then put them back to sand them. And I use this, and it's really easy. Obviously, I just did it. I popped it back in, and you can feel it lock in, and obviously you can see where it is to lock it in, and then you just run the sanding block over it while the paper is on the embossing folder, and it really helps it sand easier, and it helps the parts that are supposed to stand up a lot easier. Then once I did that, I sanded it off with a used dryer sheet, and that took off the majority of the sand. And once after I got all these cut, embossed, and sanded and wiped off, I took baby wipes. No, I didn't. I'm lying. I took a dryish, damp paper towel and wiped off all these. And while that was drying, I cut out some more papers, which was, I was going to write down the measurements, and I apologize. I have a white piece of paper here that is 1 inch wide, and this, since it's an A2 card, it's a little bit more than 4 1/4 wide. And then the next one is 1 inch and 1/8. And then the black paper is 1 1/4 inch. So I have just a little bit of a border. And I took typeset um, letter and stamped it out onto the inch paper. Hopefully I don't have you totally confused. And yes, I know my block is dirty. I'm just going to take either alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or the hand sanitizer and use it on the block to clean it up. So there you go. So I'm doing these assembly style. So today I had put together, excuse my reach, the white paper with the gray, and then I slapped it on the black cardstock. So you can see I have all these done together like that. And then, so that's what I'm going to do here with this one. I'm going to use the glue sheet. Oh boy, am I disorganized. What I wanted to say was, before I get any further, you see this nice little stamp pad? Well, guess what? It's made out of a whole bunch of foam sheets I glued together with Fabri-Tac because I couldn't find the thick foam. And so if you want to make your own, real easy. Then, let's shove these out of the way. There's my stack of white. I'm going to shove out of the way. Shove my black cards that I had done out of the way. Those I just used the inch white and the inch and eighth for the black. Okay, so we have our cardstock here, and I'm going to get the black and the gray. And of course I had all these all cut up this morning. That was part of the process. And if you don't know what assembly line is you do a bunch all together and you do the same process over and over and over again. Right now I'm just going to glue these together for you. And obviously, since I have a clear mount here, clear mounted stamp, if I wanted to I could stamp over that and make it darker, or your other alternative is just go ahead and use a black marker over it, but again that's clear, so I probably would just restamp it if I wanted to. So I'm just gonna put the glue on the wrong side of the paper. And I'm going to put this on this way since I should have, there we go. And I'm just going to try and line it up so I have a border on each side. Put this guy together. Like I said, this is a real quick, what I consider a masking card. No frills, no whistles, no buttons. And yes, I did get glue everywhere just at that moment. But that's what the handy dandy eraser's for. The glue eraser, which is normally right here. Yep, there's one. Now this is a grody one. Beware, I do have a newer. This glue eraser is by Xyron. I had gotten it from Stampin' Up, but it is a Xyron product. Okay. Well, I'm probably going to need that again. So let me just flip this over and put the base of the card together. And I am using Fabri-Tac glue. I use that, or Fabri-Fix, normally, because they don't bubble the paper. And I've told you this before, but if it ever gets really thick and stiff, make sure you just put some acetone in it, and it's right there in the instructions on the back. And of course, no, I did not see it originally. I had to have a friend had to point it out to me. It's like, what the heck are you doing with your glue? When she was pouring it in, and she told me, and she said, look, right there. So then we're going to put this over here, put it on the card base. Make sure your card base opens at the correct side. I just did a boo-boo. I'm going to pull this off. I had two of the white stuck together. Hey, you get to see another goof off by Tina. That was pretty good. Now, it's not like it's ruined. I've just pulled it off and I'm going to let it dry and just stick it on another card. Let's glue the proper back. Do you like how I'm gluing this over my glue paper? Not. Alright, I'm going to try and center this without moving the top layer too much. Let's get that top layer back up where it should be. What's one of the things I like about the Spellbinders, love about the Spellbinders, is of course, you know, I cut it, so I was cutting two pieces of cardstock at the same time. Well, you bugger, pull down. Anyways, I was cutting two pieces of stock at the same time, and there we go. So it automatically embossed. Save a step because it was so thick. This side does not want to slide. You know, I was not having this problem this morning, of course. I'm on the air, and it's going to do this to me. All right, now I'll use the glue paper. I'm going to put this on the back. And I've heard, and I don't know if you just saw that, I've got a nice long string of glue, but I've heard that what you can do is put Vaseline around the rim of your cap, and it will stop those strings from coming. Now, I told you I cut this at 1.25 inches and actually just a little bit longer. And the reason why I do that is just because when I cut my card bases, I usually cut them just, I trim them so they're A2, the 5.5 by 4.25. And then I turn around and trim them a little bit to make sure they're even and just to make sure they have a little leeway going in and out of the cards, in and out of the cards, in and out of the envelopes. Okay, so the best way to trim them off is to flip them over. And you notice I switched cards because I wanted to make sure I was on one that was dry so it wouldn't slide around on the front, which I've done before. And I just snip off the excess without hopefully mangling it. And there you have your nice little quick masculine card. Yeah, I know. I added all sorts of things in here, but again, the big tips of the day were you don't have to go out and purchase a sanding block from a craft company. Just go to the dollar store, get one of those sanding blocks. You've got it made. It's easy to use. When you sand, after you've embossed, all you have to do is put it right back in the embossing folder. It will snap into place on the design and use your sander on that. The other tip was if you want a cushy surface to stamp your clear stamps on, again, just get some fun foam, glue them together using Fabric Tack or Fabric Fix, and it works perfectly. And then if you have a piece of paper that you have glued down to the front of your card that is overlapping and you want to cut it off precisely, flip it over. And it will show you, as I've not trimmed these off yet, it will be very easy and you use your card as a guide to cut that off. So that's it for today, and I want to thank you for joining me. And if you like this, give a thumbs up and subscribe, and have a great day.